Google and Chance. It's a different one. I want my man Chance to go through and talk what he got to talk real fast before I even get started. Go ahead, man. Take it away.
All right, so forewarning, my next statement will be controversial. I was having a conversation with Guru, and I said something that just kind of blew his mind. So I said, this would be great for a video because, who knows what people might think. So I've seen the Fresh Prince reunion, and I've seen the Friends reunion. Now, let me say that I am not a fan of Friends. I watched probably 4 episodes. I don't know what's going on. I probably know 3 characters' names. I don't know anything about the show really. I know bits and pieces from just what I've heard and what I've seen over the years, but I'm not really a fan of Friends. On the flip side of that, I am a
Not a
huge fan.
Friends fan.
Yeah,
Not a Friends fan.
not a Friends fan. Not a Friends fan. I have seen Fresh Prince of Bel-Air every episode multiple times. It's one of my top 3 shows. Will Smith is my favorite actor by far. I love Will Smith. I do. Like, I'm a huge fan. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was just one of my funniest shows. Will Smith made me actually want to go into acting. Like, I just love that guy.
Good energy on the show. Yeah, all around,
Yeah.
especially at our age. Yeah.
Right, like I just respect him so much. Like his whole vibe, his aura, how he is, how he's with his kids. Like I just respect it all. So now for the controversial statement. I've seen both both reunions, and I must say the Friends reunion might have been a little entertaining to me. And a lot of people wait. Give me a minute. A lot of people will say like, "Oh, you're bugging. Oh, you're not invited to the cookout." Okay, that's fine.
I don't know, man.
Listen, I am a black man, and I love my culture, and I love all of that. I'm judging strictly from a creative standpoint, from just a viewer. Reasons why I say one was a little bit more better than the other one. I see what Fresh Prince did, and even after watching the show, before there was even a Friends reunion announced, before I knew anything about a reunion, so it was just all the talks about the Fresh Prince, and I seen it, and after I was done with it, I remember thinking like, "Oh, that was good," but it was missing something.
What was it missing? What?
It was very grounded. It just had your core cast.
Let me ask you a quick question. If they say, "Yo, listen, we having a high school reunion," and you go to your high school reunion, what do you expect? Just the people that 10 years supposed to come back, maybe have some wine and cake and share some experiences, or you expect fireworks and a light show and Bono to play your song? Like, what do you expect?
Okay, so going off of your example, a high school reunion, yes, I expect just that, to see old friends and things like that. But I had a high school reunion, sort of. People who went to high school with me know what I'm talking about. We had a sort of a high school reunion, and it didn't stop there. We all went out afterwards. We didn't get enough of each other. We did other activities. We went out to the party. We this just wasn't enough. Just using the point you used, that's how I felt about Fresh Prince. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to just I wasn't done exploring. I wasn't done revisiting. There was so much more I wanted to explore, because this is 20 years that passed by, and I probably won't do this again. So I just wanted a little bit more, and I wasn't sure what that meant until I seen the French reunion, and I seen how they handled their reunion. And like I said, even though it's a show I'm not a fan of, and I've barely watched or barely know anything about, I just like what they did. I like the fact that they took time to. They had they have a little fashion show based on the show. They had like little cue cards and little the times where they actually read off favorite parts of the script, or the most infamous parts that people will all remember, and they read them off as adults and show flashbacks to the show. And I just they did a lot of reminiscing and a lot of nostalgic moments, and I think they did that pretty well. And even though it's a show I'd never seen before, I felt the connection of like the audience to their show. I felt what the fans felt, even though I wasn't a fan myself. So it was kind of like they got their bang for their buck. Like, it was a little longer too.
Yeah.
They had even moments where fans kind of like fans of the show kind of just like picked out their favorite moments, and why I was their favorite and how they connected to the show. And I enjoyed that. I did. And I felt like a lot of that was kind of missing from the Fresh Prince. I felt like the biggest takeaway from, or the thing that everybody was looking for, which they gave, was the connection between the two Aunt Liz. Everybody wanted to know what was going on with that and what happened to her and what's the true story. And they elaborated that. They gave the fans what they wanted in that aspect, but there was so much more they could have gave. Fresh Prince was my childhood. You know what I mean? Fresh Prince was like, there's just so many more moments in it. No, they did. It's still good though. I'm not saying it wasn't good.
And I hear you on that point. Now I'm going to let me say what I must say, and I'm gonna hold your barbecue card. You didn't lose your barbecue card yet. It's right here. Have a barbecue card yet. But let me say this. First of all, like I just said, back to being a reunion. It's like a reunion is just that. Like we're supposed to come together, reminisce of the past, kind of bring up what's going on in the future, and kind of just round that off. You know what I mean? And I feel like, just like you picked up on exactly what I'm thinking, but to just expand, nostalgia. Like we're in the realm of everything is repackageable, because now it's nostalgia. Like, oh, we missed it. It's nostalgic. We missed it so much. Like, give me more of that. You know what I mean? It leaves no space for creativity, like new stuff to happen, if we're just gonna keep diving into the old. My problem with Friends, one of the many problems, but the first problem is, it seems like HBO saw the success of the Fresh Prince one and said, okay, well, how can we top this? Okay, we're not just going to bring the people back. We're going to let the fans have so much. You know what I mean? So you incentivize the people to watch this one by not only bringing them back, but topping it. And then we'll top it again. And so now it's less of a reunion and a documentary and a, like you said, they had cue cards. They was acting stuff out. It detached the reality of it to me from what it was. Like these guys, it said, in the very beginning, it said, they've only met one other time in like 20 years, and all of it is still produced, all of it's still staged. You know what I'm saying? Not that Fresh Prince wasn't some type of stage, because everything is, but it just seemed like they just tried to up. You know what I mean? And so now we detach from kind of like getting truly away from how people feel. Matthew Perry said, everybody made a joke. We stay in touch. We have such a strong bond. He's like, nobody calls me ever. You know what I mean? Like, and it was funny. It was playful laugh, but like I saw it in his face. Like, no, I'm serious.
No, he was serious.
He was serious. You feel like, and it's like, again, it's like, not that they have to be whatever, but it's like, for a show that meant so much to people, this really felt to me like the opportunity where they were like, okay, we're gonna give people exactly what they want and dial it up to 100. You know what I mean? Not just bring the people that you want to have there to talk about their experience, which is really what that type of reunion thing is about. But we're gonna dial up to 100. It just took away the reality of maybe like how genuine, the most genuine to me that joint was, and it was the very beginning when they was hugging and saying, wow, that was the most, you know what I mean? Everything else kind of just, it got, so for me, it's like, you really detach, like, what is this about? It's about people that had this experience that not only impacted us as watchers, but impacted them. And I think Fresh Prince did that really well. You know what I mean? Not that Friends didn't have any beats or any tones, but at the same time, again, I'm not a fan, and everything is subjective. I'm not a fan of Friends. My biggest problem with Friends, and let's talk about it, is everybody, listen, our culture, we know living single. Stop playing. Single. Come on, so you can't get the vibe on that. That's one of the best themes. So Living Single came out before Friends, fam. 6 black people, living single, Friends, doing what they do, 2 apartments. Do you feel me? A year and some change before. So it's like, for me, it's like the biggest thing is they had a 5-season run and got knocked out because they wanted to come out with the white version. And not that we can have all types of versions, but in a world where we talk about diversity, in that age where we had a black show that was hitting, it was the same that here you come with the carbon copy. And now everybody's running with this, like, this was the best thing ever. Stop it. So truly, you can't incentivize me to watch this, because I was never really a fan, because I knew it was just but at the same time, it's clear that they struck a chord with the documentary that Fresh Prince had. They said, how can we hit this with another demographic? Guaranteed you'll see one for Seinfeld soon. Where's the one for Frasier? Where's the one? You get me? Like, So it's just a time will tell thing. Even for our generation, like they just That's a Raven. They made a new one of them things. What's a Full House? They got Fuller House.
It seems like they are like this decade now is making a lot of its money by taking from the old and making it anew again. It's almost like they're scared to take risk. They're just going to take what they know worked.
Right.
And if it ain't,
they make a new Home Alone, bro. Did you hear that? They make a new Home Alone. And like you said, they're scared to take the risk because it's like this. Like you said, why take a risk when I knew this was successful 5 years ago to an earlier generation? So if there's another set of young people, I don't have to. Let me just remake Batman. Let's remake Spot. Because there's always gonna be a young group of people that, you know what I mean.
I mean, yeah, and I understand what you're coming from with that standpoint of the friends. But again, I'm not judging. I'm judging strictly off for just the reunions. I didn't put any background into my judgment. Had I did that, I wouldn't have watched the Friends reunion to begin with.
This was just never liked Friends simply off the fact, and that's Hollywood divorce. That's our thing. Like we make something and it'll get just Elvis. Come on, bow. I like what y'all doing there. Let me take the blues. Always guaranteed in any medium, in any genre, any field, and for what it is worth, because there's fans of that, it's great, it's awesome. Let's just take it for brass tacks. HBO was behind both of them. Fresh Prince came first. They had a hit. Okay, what can we do to funnel this into the next thing?
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And so
100% the Friends reunion success came from Fresh Prince reunion success.
And I'll give you this. I think as in a production, if we're talking about pure production, they hit the nail on the head. That joint is 10 times the production of the Fresh Prince one. I'll give you that in terms of what they did, the scale, the budget they probably put in, right? The money they put to create it.
Yeah.
Because they knew what they had, because the mass of that popularity of the pop culture reference for that is just right. So if they got that right, they put enough money in it, that's a winner. So they did that right. And I know you see they got the Friends Experience downtown, right by the park. They got the whole thing where you could tour the set. So this was a whole money grab. It was a big, we gonna milk this thing, we gonna give this back to them, package it, bum, bum, bum. So for me, it's fine, it's dope, and they did a good job. But recognize what it is and still enjoy it. But for me, it's like, yo, give me Living Single, man. I need the Living Single, Queen Latifah, Eric Alexander, make that happen.
I don't think that's out of the question, though. I think, like you said, reunion after reunion is gonna pop up now because of the success of these last two. And as you say, it gets bigger and bigger for each one now because they, you know what, Friends might have even been bigger because people say what I'm saying about Fresh Prince. Like, it was good. I liked it, but I was missing a little bit more. People might have heard that. Who knows who else?
And try to add on to the next one, right?
Right.
Everything compiles to make the next one what it is, right?
Yes. And whatever's the next one after this, I guarantee you it'll be even longer and might even be even better. You know what I mean? That's just what it is. It's a business, and he came from the same people. HBO did it, so that's what it is right there. So not that it was on purpose that Friends and the set and everything was better. Not that. I mean, it was on purpose.
I don't even think the set was better, bro. This is me being subjective. I'm gonna say hard pass on everything, Friends. But what I mean is this: they had a cast. They had like people sitting in the park with them. They had homie, like you said, they had other celebrities with this. That took money. They didn't do that with, right? They could have had a bunch of celebrities come. They could have had Tyra Banks. They could have Queen Latifah.
That's what I was gonna put. That's the point I was gonna make. They could have They could have had what's her name, Gina Martin. Sorry for the name. They they had so many stars from Fresh Prince. They might even surpass Friends. Well, I don't know. No, Friends had a couple of stars too, but
as guest appearances, especially like you said, they have a lot.
Yeah, they could have did. What I mean?
Don Cheadle. But you know what?
Don Cheadle, the best friend. Right. They had so many, but they kept it with the core class and kept it grounded, like I said in the beginning. However, it'd have been nice to see all these people who contributed to their success. You know what I mean? Like,
cut it down to money. I think they were just like, you know what? Listen, guys, how much? 10 million? Okay, here's 10. Don't ask for no more. And then when it went well, they're like, Friends.
Right. That was like the next best.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's just how it goes. Like you said, everything makes the next thing better. If Fresh Prince would have tanked, it'd have been a whole different story. Yeah, bro. I just feel like, they could have. There were things they could have, but that's like hindsight. In hindsight, okay, right. But overall, man, I think, listen, we're gonna see more of these. The nostalgia kick is in full swing. I'm waiting for Frasier, bro. Bring back Frasier. You heard?
I have not seen Frasier yet.
Huh?
I have not seen Frasier.
You never seen Frasier? Listen, man, it's dry humor. It's what it be like.
I like dry humor, like a Jason Bateman type thing.
Who?
Jason Bateman. Am I saying his name?
Jason Bateman.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Ozarks, right?
Yeah. He's a dry humorous dude. Like
he's a dry humorous dude. Yeah, facts.
That's who I think of when I think of dry humor.
Ozark is fire though.
I have not checked out Ozark.
You have not seen Ozark, sir?
You know what? By next video, I would have seen Ozark.
We're gonna break down Ozark just for the hell of it. That's a joint. Yeah. That's a fun joint. Sum it up for me.
I think what we both can agree on is that where you throw money at something after the success of something, seeing something else. I feel like Friends is almost like the sequel reunion.
Right. So like the reunion movies the
Right.
reunion content.
Right.
Yeah, it's the next
So
right. So the one after that will be Imagine,
yeah,
right.
way bigger. So I think
Right.
my choosing of Friends is strictly based on just it was purposely entailed to be that way. It was supposed to be bigger than Fresh Prince. They took what we see in the successful Fresh Prince and expanded on it in a way where they did way more. Love Fresh Prince, favorite show. It's just the reunion itself was purposely made as a whole was purposely made to be improved based on the success of Fresh Prince.
Right. Improved on the previous thing they made. Okay, we made this good. How can we make this better? How can we make this kind of product better?
Yeah.
And that's what businesses do, right? So yeah, they did that well.
Yeah.
And in terms of that, we're probably gonna see more of this.
Yes.
Man, listen, give me a Steve Urkel, give me one of those, man.
Ooh, Family Matters. Oof.
Yo, that'd be fire. That's one of the best
I would love
sitcoms ever created. Family
and they're
Matters.
all active. They all still doing something. So
first of all, my man could ball. Steve Urkel could ball, son. You remember them episodes when Steve was like Rondo in the court, son? He had hand ego. But listen, man, yeah, I think there's gonna be more content. Either way, I think it's dope when you are a fan of the property or whatever it is, whether it be Marvel, whether it be DC, whether it be, I don't know, Twilight, whatever it is, if you're a fan and they come out with more of that, you're gonna tap in. So all you really care about is that, right? They make it's genuine, it's dope, and yeah. So I think if you're a fan of it, you're gonna like it. But for me, give me Living Single, give me Family Matters, give me Cousin Skeeter. Yo. So listen again, it's Guru Chantz. We got more coming. We rocking with you. I got my hands still rolling around. She's having fun. And just stay tuned for new content. That's all I can say to you. Like, subscribe. Man, take us out.
Later.